welcome to Impact Wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. Now, before I get started, I wish to say I'm sorry I did not do my Impact, well, not my Impact review, but my AEW review. This is what you get when you watch my show. I botch, but I wasn't feeling like myself. Literally, I wasn't feeling like myself. So when these things happen, I just have to skip sometimes. I did watch it. I did watch AEW. And I will give this brief thought. This is not going to be in the title. I'm just giving my brief thoughts on it. It was a good show. Seeing Brody King there was actually pretty good. I did enjoy the intro for Brody King. And the ending of the show, when it came to Garcia and when it came to Sammy Guevara, that was a good ending for them. But you wonder where they're going to go with Chris Jericho and Eddie Kingston. You wonder if they're going to have a match, if it's going to be at the pay-per-view that's next coming up. You wonder. That's all I'm saying. Now, what do we get here? Total Chaos again. I think that might be the best title for this. Total Chaos again. A faction from ROH comes and cause havoc inside of Impact's ring. And the key of this is that I know my subscribers are going to be loving this. They will be. They're going to say, damn, this Impact was incredible. This was great. Sorry, I can't say 100% great. I'm sorry. Guys, I'm going to give my description, my review of this. And I'm not giving this an entirely shitty review. I'm not. But if you see my Gump report that I uploaded earlier than this show, you know what's going on with WWE and Impact Wrestling. And this does not compensate for that. I'm sorry. You can say all you want in the comments below that this show is great. Who cares about what's going on with WWE and Impact? Sorry, you can't. Because it's all over Twitter. And that's all that people care about. They're waiting for the, 23rd or the 24th for Royal Rumble to come out and for either Mickie James to show up, which she's supposed to, maybe a Moose, as many people think is going to show up, and anybody else from Impact. That's all they care about. This is not about Impact Wrestling. This is about what WWE can take from Impact to make their shitty show look better. So as far as I'm concerned, all this publicity is taking away from all the work that's being done by the regular Impact stars and ROH stars. So, this show wasn't great. But I'm not taking anything away from the work that was done. They got an entire cloud, and I'll explain it again at the end of this review. Let's get to the beginning of this, shall we? We got a Morrissey who looks like he's turned face come out. The crowd's cheering him. He says, look, Moose, get your ass out here. You know I had you pinned for 10 count. Come out here and give me my damn title match. I want a title match. You can't get nothing done until you get me a title match. Then Moose shows up on the Titantron and says, hey, Morrissey, you say you had the option. You had the ability to beat me. But guess what? You didn't. You didn't get the job done. It doesn't make a difference. You're old. You didn't get it done. But you know what? I'm going to give someone who's on this roster who has never had a chance or shot at my title. So they're the ones who's getting it. And you, shoo, bye. And you see him going to the back. And that's Morrissey. He sees Scott. He says to Scott, I want my title match. And he says, look, I understand you got a perfectly fair gripe. But this match has been signed off from the brass in the back. Do not interfere. No, don't interfere. And as he's saying this, they cut away from that same group again from ROH, attacking more people from the show. And this is where it gets interesting. It's out in the ring. They get attacked. Well, not get attacked, but let me crank back a little bit. You see a Trayman. What is the guy's name? From OGK. Matt. Trayman. I always mispronounce the guy. It makes me think of Matt Damon, but that's Matt Trayman. I think Trayman. There you go. And he's messing with a Tom, who, I gotta say this. Tom has gotten used to Impact, and you could hear through this entire show, and I'll explain it again. He sounds different, and I'll elaborate on that in a few minutes. But he's there with a D'Lo Brown. They're messing with him. They're messing with D'Lo, and D'Lo says, "You know what? Fuck this shit. I'm gonna get up in your grills," and then he whacks at a mat, whacks at everybody else, and then he gets laid out on a table. He's done for the entire night, and it's just Tom that does the rest of the show until people from the back, the personalities of the Impact roster, comes out to compensate for that with him, which worked on and off. I'll say that. But you see that Tom, or Todd Phillips, as we know him as Todd, was given the option to work by himself, even though he did have wrestlers come in and out. He was by himself. Joey Styles, anybody? I'm wondering if they're thinking about if Tom's good enough to try something entirely different and try Joey Styles as the sole commentator. Not saying they'll really do it, but it kind of makes you think, would they do it? Now, let's move on. We got Chris Bay versus Dorado Kid, and you got Trey as the commentator. Now, Trey is an interesting character. He is a great wrestler. There's no lie about that. He can do a good character. No lie, no nothing. But as a commentator, one of the problems that a commentator must overcome if they do it enough is not to sound dull. Now, mind you, he was very witty, he was funny, but his voice sounded dull. Now, he needs to compensate for that if he does that more often. This is, I think, the first time he's been allowed to sit in commentary and actually do blow-by-blow action that was in the ring. So I don't expect him to get it right the first time unless he's done it before. And he's not done it before, so he sounds dull, even though he was witty and he did have some good jokes. And I will say this about Tom. What I just said earlier about he sounds different, you know what he sounds like? He sounds like someone having some damn fun. He legitimately, throughout the entire show, sounds like he was having fun. Like he was in NXT like he was before. Of course, he had to still follow the script and follow what he did. But he sounded way more lively than he would on NXT. Now, it could be because he's a new company. But honestly, the way the banter between him and everybody else during the time of the matches and when he was by himself, you could hear it. He was enjoying himself. He was having fun. Now, that's something that you don't get from many commentators. And I think from what he went through on SmackDown Live, then NXT, when it started transitioning from a Paul Levesque to a Vincent McMahon, and I know I've heard the reports that Bruce is directly in control. Even though Bruce is in control, he still reports to Vince, and Vince tells him what to do, and he does what Vince likes to do. He's a mirror image of Vince. So whatever he does, Vince wants anyway. So he must have really not been happy there. And you can hear it here in this promotion. Who has problems, he sounds happy. Happy for him. Now, let's move on. We get Jake something versus the Speedball Bailey. I believe that's his name. I think his name is John Bailey. Could be wrong. The guy has no boots on. He has knee pads. He has knee pads and the shin pads on, but no boots on, no shoes on. He is completely barefoot. And I'm not gonna lie here. Everybody can like Speedball. Cool. He's got one hell of a smile. He does the Shaolin, showing of respect. I like that. Not many wrestlers would do that. But I'm not gonna lie here. He looks stupid. He looks stupid because his shin pads since they're meant to be covering boots and his feet are moving around under them, you see his little tippity toes showing out. Looks really dumb. He should have been totally barefoot with no shin pads. Nothing. Or he should have worn boots. There, it was distracting for me personally. Now, was he wrestling well? Yes, he was. Seeing Jake something give him one hell of a hard clothesline, but then he kips right back up, no selling it, was interesting. Of course, later he did have to sell some of the moves that Jake gave him. But in the end, he did beat Jake, which I was not surprised. I wasn't. But here's the thing. He needs something. Now, mind you, this is only the second time I'm seeing him, and maybe he will win me over. No problem. But as it stands now, they got to make sure he's got a personality. Because seeing him barefoot wearing shin guards and his feet dangling out, rubbing back and forth on top of the guards instead of regular boots make him look stupid. But maybe he will win me over. You guys tell me below. Now, the next the next destroyer, because this was a destroyer. Marsha Slamovich. Another very powerful-ish. Look, you know who she reminds me of? I'm not saying she's an ugly woman. She's not. She's not ugly. I believe I have a picture of her in my face right now. She's not an ugly woman. But you got her going up against a jobber from Dallas, Texas, from the factory. Because that's where they were filming at. Which was nice. It was a large amount of people. Very good. But Marsha looked like she is the daughter of the Bride of Frankenstein with that hair. Now, I'm not saying she looks like the Bride of Frankenstein in the face. Now, mind you, understand, if you ever seen the black and white version of Bride of Frankenstein, that woman was not ugly. That was a good-looking ass woman. And I'm not saying Marsha is ugly either. But that Bride of Frankenstein hair up in that super big-ass mohawk, come on. I'm sorry, I gotta be honest. I'm just looking at her as the aesthetics because it takes more than just in-ring performance. You got to see what the wrestler looks like. Their charisma, their ability to talk, their ability to tell a story in the ring. Not just wrestling well, but being able to wrestle well and make a story from that. That is what the tools of the trade of pro wrestling is. And she is a total destroyer. That is what she was. There was no playing. If you saw what happened to Natalya dealing with Paula Blaze, that match 2 weeks ago, and I will be uploading my NWA review tomorrow. I know it's like 3 days late, but it's hard to do it from Tuesday into Wednesday. Wednesday is when I can probably see it, counting when I can see it. But then what's going on, I have things to do, and then Thursday I do this, and then Friday, it's easy for me to do Friday, so I'm sorry. But Natalya, who is a more thicker woman, does exactly the same thing. I'm going to feel that later. She just destroyed, what was her name? Vixen. I believe her name was Vixen. She destroyed her. She stood no chance. And she enjoyed every second of it. Now, after the match was over, you get a surprising situation. You get a Josh Alexander comes out and a Marsha giving a nod. Like, okay, you won my respect. Here's a nod for you, man. I thought that was quite interesting. So he comes to the ring and he does his promo basically saying, I got Jonah out of my hair, which I don't agree with. That's bullshit. That was a dumb move on Impact Wrestling, what they did to Jonah. I'll explain that when the match comes up. But he's in the ring. He's saying he's focused. He's ready. He's willing. He's able to get that damn title shot. He is ready. And then we get music for someone that we've never seen in Impact. Which probably is not even signed. Remember, it's good to get fresh meat coming into Impact Wrestling. But sooner or later, more fresh meat you throw in, you need to keep one of them. So will we keep this individual I'm about to talk about? That's going to be a question, and I knew I was going to feel it later. That is Charlie Haas of the world's greatest tag team. He's never been in Impact as far as I understand. Walks into the ring, says to Josh, I've been watching you from afar. You are the damn best I've ever seen. And for me, I need to face the best because I still got gas in the tank. And let's put, I believe I got a shot of him with Josh or by himself. If I got a shot of him by himself, here it is. Or with Josh. Damn, boy, that boy is aged. Now, I'm not saying he's young. He's in his mid to late 40s, I believe. At least mid 40s. He was something back in 2003, 4, or 5 with the world's greatest tag team with Kurt Angle. No, 2, 3, and 4 because Kurt Angle left by 2006, 5 or 6. He used to be, but he looked like he's gone through the ringer at least 3 times over with a little smack in the face like this just to remind him that he ain't immortal. Oh, man. And I thought I look old. And I'm old. Look, I'm 50. I'll be 51 soon. I'm not a young-looking guy. If I do look young, thank you very much. But next to a balding head, he looked older than I did. He looks like he's almost 60. With old... Damn. But he says he wants a match against him. And Josh was respectful. He says, look, I respect the hell out of you. I admired you when you had your moment. And I would love to give you a title match. I'd love to give you a match. But I need to focus on getting my title back. And if after I get my title back, I'll face you. You can have a match. That means he would have given him a title match. But Charlie Haas didn't want to wait. And Josh made it very clear, if I got to go for you now, you'll be like another obstacle I've been having to deal with. And I don't want obstacles. I want my damn title match. I don't want you to become an obstacle in my face, which I got to destroy. And then he gets cold-cocked in the face, and then they have a fight. And here is where I think I understand the subscriber that was talking about Josh Alexander is going to turn heel. No. You want to know why? Because it's obvious there's a reason why there's so many people thrown in his face. He's not turning heel, my friend. You know why? It's obvious he's not going to turn heel because it's Scott D'Amore that's causing the trouble. Because if he was truly going to turn heel, it should have happened at Hard to Kill when he got his ass whooped by Jonah, who I'm about to talk to in about a minute. And then he got so angry at Josh, he would whoop his ass. That would be, Josh would be whooping the ass of Scott D'Amore. That would make the most perfect sense for him to turn heel. Here, it is obvious that Scott is throwing people in front of him to keep him from Moose. Then, if that's going on, why the hell would he turn heel if he's getting constant people thrown in his face? You got a Charlie Haas now going to face him. No. It won't work. It should have worked at Hard to Kill. Now, let's go to Jonah. And where are we? Where's that Jonah match? No. What happened to Jonah? I had written it down. Yeah, there it is. Raj Singh comes out. Guys, what the fuck was I listening to? Guys, we haven't seen Raj Singh come out to the ring and wrestle since he came back. I don't know when, how many months ago? That was back at, Bound for Glory? That's when I first saw him again. No, before Bound for Glory. I think a week before Bound for Glory or 2 weeks. That's when he showed up along with Raju. That's the first time I've actually seen him on the main show. Don't tell me he was on BTI. I don't care because I don't watch it. But this is the first time I've seen him back on Impact. And what the hell was that music? What the hell was that? That doesn't look like a Raj Singh song. It sounds like something that's supposed to be from a 1970s porno flick. And after that music was playing, You hear him talk, saying that the infidels treat us bad and I deserve respect because I'm a Wujabi warrior. Not if you play that music that sounds like it should have been a damn porno. What the hell was that? And then he said, I want respect and I'm going to get respect. I asked the brass in the back, in other words, Scott, to get me something, to let me deal with someone. I don't care if they're small or big, I'm going to whoop their ass. And then you see Jonah come out and he's in my face. This is bullshit. I'm sorry. What the hell? Now, mind you, there's a possibility that Jonah is not even... Tell me below if you believe Jonah is signed to Impact Wrestling. If he's signed to Impact, if he's on the roster, I haven't checked the roster on Impact's website, but if he's signed to Impact, this was the stupidest thing that happened on Hard to Kill because of this match. Why would you give Jonah this match? For what? Do you think he's going to rebuild him after he was beaten by Josh Alexander? He needed to win. If anybody said he's perfectly safe after that match with Josh because it was so damn good, no. No. Hell no. You needed Jonah to stay strong to build up into the main title scene. He's only been there barely a month. Barely. And he needed to win at a pay-per-view. If that had been an Impact Plus show, many people wouldn't care about it. But it was a damn pay-per-view, Hard to Kill. And he lost. You think compensating with him getting destroying Raj Singh means anything? You think that means anything? It's a damn joke. That was a bad decision for Jonah. Because he should have never lost at the pay-per-view. He needs to go on a rise to get to the main title scene. And if he's not going to deal with Moose, at least if he's there, you know that he could be a main eventer. And Impact needs main eventers. Now, we got the match between Moose. Literally, on my paper before the match even started, the guy who's in my face, you see him. You know him, you love him. He's Ziggy Dice. I knew that this was going to be a laugh. Ha ha. I even wrote it on my paper. Ha ha. Before the match happened. Ziggy Dice stood no chance. You had VSK come out. You had Brian Myers come out. He sat on commentary. He knew from the very beginning that the Learning Tree member that he has was not going to stand a chance. And once you see Ziggy give at least 2 shots, I'd say about 2, maybe 3 he gave to Moose. Moose just grabbed him, chokeslammed his ass, and he just laid him out like he was a toy. And worse yet, Brian Myers is saying, well, there you go, as I knew it was going to happen. Instead of being there in the corner for his boy, he let him get laid out. And also a picture of him with a huge pizza before the match. He says, why are you eating a damn pizza before your signature match? He says, I always do this. That is Ziggy Dice. If you have not seen my Booking the Wrestler, I think it was number 2. And that's with Ziggy Dice with Johnny Swinger. Look at that one. I give a better story than what Impact Wrestling just did for Ziggy Dice. I'm just saying. Well, guess what? Morrissey comes out. There's a quick fight. And Morrissey's so angry, he lays out Ziggy Dice not once. I think twice he laid him out. I think he gave him a big boot. And he was messed up. And then VSK was laid out. Brian Myers didn't get in the ring. He was smart enough to not to do. But I do think Ziggy got chokeslammed twice. I can't remember. There you go. Now, finally, the final match of the night, which was the most important, which unfortunately was a bit botchy. That is Roxy from ROH, the women's champion, versus the AAA Dorenas, I believe that's how it's pronounced, of a Deonna Purrazzo. This was a good match at first, into the middle, and then you could see you could honestly see Roxy's real, I'm not really putting her down, But you can see the experience level between a Deonna Purrazzo compared to a Roxy. Roxy is here. Deonna's here. There's no way. There's no way. You could tell Roxy was in a high-profile match. One of the most highest I'm sure she's ever been in. And she tried her best to make it look great. But unfortunately, you could tell she's not as experienced as Deonna. Deonna has been going up against some of the greatest women's wrestlers outside of AEW and WWE. From Impact Wrestling, from basically ROH, I'm sure she did that, to AAA, to NWA. She's gone up against those women. So, when you see this match, you can see that she was lacking. Now, it was not a bad match, not at all. But you can see that a lot of times, Deonna had to slow down to allow Roxy to get into position to do what she needs to do. In the end, we got a Dominis de Milo placed on her, double hooked. And now we got you would have a great moment for Deonna Purrazzo now having the AAA and ROH titles, and she's a 2-belt person now. But then again, this faction, this group that has not been named, attacks a Matthew Rinwald who's trying to defend the honor of Deonna Purrazzo. And there you go. They win chaos again, total chaos again in Impact Wrestling. Now, many people say, damn, this was a great wrestling, great episode. It would be. And in most cases, it is. But still, as I said in my Gump report before this match, and I may connect it below, you have the looming Royal Rumble over the head of Impact Wrestling. And will they gain anything from it? Because, guys, if you say below in the comments that you are wrong, WWE is going to do Impact right, I'm going to tell you in 2 words. Bullcrap. If you honestly think Vince McMahon is going to treat Impact Wrestling better than clearly ECW back in the 90s, because they did give ECW time. Remember, before Vince bought ECW, before he bought WCW, he had a short program with Paulie from ECW. In a sense, he did that. But in the end, ECW went under. Just like WCW went under. And Vince bought them both. Now, I'm not saying Impact Wrestling's going under either. Anthem's not going to let it happen. But I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to say this clearly to you. Anthem is watching the ratings from Access TV, just like I said in my Gump report, and I was angry. Understand, I was angry on that Gump report. That's why I was botching so damn much. I'm telling you right now, Anthem, who has billions of dollars like Vince. Vince has more money than fucking Anthem. Don't think that he doesn't have enough liquid assets to outperform Anthem, because he does. Ooh, something moved over there. But I'm telling you, right now, as it stands, Vince is going to fuck Impact Wrestling. You know how I know? If you check Just Alex's video for AEW, he just announced that MLW is suing WWE for interfering with them trying to get contracts for their people and also trying to get onto networks. Go check Just Alex's video about AEW doing the review for Wednesday that I didn't do. I'm sorry, like I said, I wasn't myself. But he did his review for AEW, but before he did it, he stated this, that MLW is suing Vince McMahon, suing WWE for antitrust violations because he did everything he could to interfere with them hiring wrestlers, trying to get on another network, and just causing havoc with probably their sponsors. They are trying to sue this man. So if you honestly think that Vince is going to treat them right, what the hell are you smoking? Think about it. And this is my time. I am done. And I hope you enjoyed the Zane's View. Please give me a comment below. You will be seeing my NWA review and my Rampage review tomorrow. I will try and do NWA. I think NWA USA comes on Saturdays, so I'll also do that Saturday too. Peace.